denied at the big block of the Wisconsin Badgers was Anaya Madkin with her attempt on the pin.
Anytime you're going up against a blocker like Carter Booth, number 52 in black, you have to swing about a foot higher than you normally would think. Because she stands at 6'7", that reach is so high. As an attacker, you have to be a little bit more crafty up front.
Well, Emily, a milestone is upon us for Carter Booth. She is just 2 blocks shy, now 1 block shy away from 500. So keep an eye on that. Next block will be a big milestone for the 6'7" senior middle blocker. Serving now is Kristen Simon, the freshman libero, one of the best young liberos Kelly Sheffield says he has coached. Madkin back to work on the pin. Stuckey goes right back out to her. It's a vanilla offense, Ryan Tice has said, but it is an effective one. There's a look at Kelly Sheffield and what a legend he is for the Wisconsin coaching helm. 13th season with the Badgers has turned Wisconsin into a perennial national power. Of course, national champions in 2021. A tip from Grace Egan. And then out of the middle, it's Andrews. Scrappy defense from Florida. And Andrew comes away with it.
So important when you're going up against a team like Wisconsin to play as physical as you can up at the net, especially for Jayla Gus in this rotation, number 4 in white. They have to do a good job getting up on the middles.
Jump topspin serve goes to the bottom of the net for the Wisconsin Badgers. Let's meet the head coach for the Florida Gators on the opposite bench. Has local ties here to Madison, Wisconsin. He's just 8 matches into his tenure at Florida. Of course, no stranger to winning, though. Wisconsin native, former Gator assistant, returned to Gainesville after an impressive 11-year run from Marquette, who Florida recently lost to on the road. That's a dig from Hudson. Stuckey back out to the pin. It's Madkin, who's now been blocked twice from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin does a really nice job blocking out of system, meaning when they know on the other side of the net, when the ball is going outside because the ball's too far off the net for the setter to get anybody else involved, the block just waits on it for the Badgers.
17, Alicia Andrew. Physical presence, transfer from Baylor. Nice serve there for Wisconsin. Collier with a rip. Madkin throws it a tip. It's dug out by Wisconsin. Stuckey opts for the slide attack, and there she is. You queued it up in the intro, Emily. Jayla August, the sophomore middle blocker, coming to life for the Gators.
August is one of the most efficient attackers in the country. They do a really nice job getting August going anytime that it's in transition. Really nice pickup for Wisconsin, though, on those tips. Definitely a focus for the Badgers. But, man, they run that slide fast, and she can get up there.
A nice setup there, though, from Madkin to get Wisconsin in a scramble ahead of time. Emily Canan with the serve into the net. Gators with a few unforced errors out of the gate. Wisconsin ties it up early in set number 1.
Talking to Kelly Sheffield, the head coach for Wisconsin, before this match, he was saying the number 1 key for their side was taking control of rallies because they know that Florida's going to throw in a lot of tips and roll shots. Transitioning those is a key for the Badgers.
Checking in as a serving specialist here for Wisconsin, Emily Wardlow, the freshman. And how about that? Our first look at Una Vajagic has a nice recruiting story, too. We'll dive into that momentarily, but Kelly Sheffield loves what he has in his freshman group, as well as the Serbian redshirt sophomore.
And a really strong serving core right now for Wisconsin, something that's kind of dipped over the past few seasons, but, man, they've got a lot of young servers that really put pressure.
Well, speaking of pressure, one off the tape there for Florida. It's Jordan Bird on the pin. Slide attack. Booth goes a little bit off speed, maybe unintentionally, but finds the corner.
Not the prettiest swing there from Carter Booth, hitting that one with the feather, but hey, she perfectly places that one in the back corner. This set timing just a little bit off between setter and attacker, coming down while she's hitting that ball, but lands in, doesn't matter.
Didn't even get a full approach on that one. What a serve from Wardlow, the freshman. Bird goes high hand. Stuckey gets a rip on it. Dug out by Wisconsin. Collier swings her way out of trouble, goes high hands, and gets the job done. Wisconsin leads by 3.
How about Natalie Wardlow, the freshman middle blocker, with a massive up in the backcourt?
Yeah.
Coming in to serve. Impressive back there to transition it. That'll get your team hype.
4-0 run here for the Badgers. Love the serve here, too. Just a bit deep, though. And, of course, it's an adjustment for Wisconsin, too, to get used to another home venue. Here, the Kohl Center is not the field house. A little bit different digs. Different airflow, too, with the float serves. Same adjustment on the other side. There's a look at the young Jayla August. Jump float from her as well, and targeting the opposite corner, it's out. Wisconsin back to work.
Florida has to serve really tough today. Wisconsin is a fantastic passing unit, so what that means is you got to put more pressure on the service line to try to knock them out. With that will come a few more errors.
Well, especially to help out that defense on the Florida side, considering Wisconsin has 4 attack options in every single rotation. Furbringer now sends another service gift back the other way.
That's one wrinkle to Wisconsin's offense that is new this season, is that addition of the back row attack that we touched on the top of the show. Because the outsides and the right side plays all the way around, there's always 4 attacking options.
Yeah, I love the way that you explained that earlier too, Emily. They're the 4 different lanes to keep track of as a blocker, not an easy feat. There's a look at Alexis Stuckey with a big serve. Furbringer out of system. Egan takes a big swing, and Florida takes the point.
That all started with a really tough serve from Alexis Stuckey, doing a nice job hitting the seams between the passers, forcing them to really communicate about who's taking it.
And Stuckey, of course, All-American athlete, surpassed 2,000 career assists in just 63 matches. That was against Stanford in their opening. Another big rip from Collier through a physical Florida block. She has that unique vision. Kelly Sheffield telling me ahead of the match, it's more than just a physical presence, Emily. It's a last-minute adjustment. She can see the block ahead so well.
Especially from the backcourt, Collier has about 10 extra feet of space to see the block, so it really helps out her vision.
Out of system again. Stuckey setting from the 10-foot line, denied by the block of Wisconsin. To the pin now. Crafty shot from Kira Hudson. Catches the hands and catches a touch. Might have been a net violation, but...
Again, going back to Mimi Collier, just such an impressive presence in the front and in the back row. Kelly Sheffield has talked about how her back row attacks here have actually sometimes been more effective than her front row attack. She's hitting 329 back there.
That is absolute insanity. We'll dive into it more when she gets back to the back row, and that was a net violation called on Wisconsin. Little run here for the Gators, trying to keep things close. It's been a tough road trip for Florida, suffering an upset loss to Marquette to start their weekend. Nice rip of a serve from Ella Vogel, the freshman defensive specialist.
Love this serve because it caught the passer in a situation where they didn't know whether to take it with their hands or with their platform. Here Collier goes with her hands, but it drops right at the last second, which makes it hard to pop back up.
And goes right back down the line. That's a BB. Collier taking control on second contact. Tip from Wisconsin. Dug out by Florida. And they run their middle right away. That's a heads-up play from Alexis Stuckey. Her experience shining bright right in the middle quick.
Really impressive play from Stuckey because she's about 10 feet off the net and can still get the middle going.
Timeout taken on the Wisconsin bench now in a 2-point hole. The Gators still looking to take set one. Even on the call with you. And the Gators performing well to start here in set number 1. Mimi Collier with a rip. Nice dig from Vogel. Out to the pin, denied. Carter Booth is on the read early.
Carter Booth and whoever that right side pin has been, have been fantastic at shutting down Florida's outsides. That's where a majority of Florida's points come from. So if they can still stop that on Wisconsin's side, it's going to bode well for the rest of the season.
Guess what, Emily? That was career block number 500 for Carter Booth, number 52. That's a lot of blocks.
That's a ton of blocks.
In 4 years. And that one errant for Wisconsin, and Aya Madkin is there to clean it up. The redshirt sophomore who's feeling a lot of total attempts there on the pin. It's been a journey for this Florida Gators offense to get rolling. Stuckey leading the offense today from the setting position, but of course they have Taylor Parks on the bench too, who comes in at times. Furbringer pulls that one off the plane and runs the middle. What a set.
Beautiful set from the sophomore setter. Goes up, saves this ball from being over the net. She's a back row setter, so she can't take it over, but a really nice job getting both hands on that to deliver her middle, a beautiful pass. Set, rather.
Here's a look at Charlie Furbringer, sophomore setter. From Hermosa Beach, California. That was a BB. Lily Hayes on second contact for Florida. Madkin again was having some trouble with the Wisconsin block. Gets one through there.
And that time the block for Wisconsin just not as disciplined as we've seen throughout this set so far. Both blockers in a good spot to make this play, just don't hold at their hands enough to press it over.
Adkin with 9 attempts already on set number 1 here, Emily.
But those are not numbers you would like to see, considering the next closest player is at 2. So that tells you Florida's been out of system a lot.
That is a great point and a great swing on the slide for Alicia Andrew. Ridgefield, Washington. She led the conference in the Big 12 last year in hit percentage with Baylor. And now you see why. Look at that contact point, wide open alleyway down the line. Amy Collier back in the back row will get Emily's thoughts on her back row attacks if it's relevant. That's a high contact and another attempt for the high flying Anaya Madkin for Florida.
And Madkin has put down a few balls tonight, but still not as efficient as she should be, just hitting around 100 there. But again, already at 10 attempts. Florida needs to diversify their offense just a little bit more and get those middles involved.
Sure, if they'll get that with number 14 checking back into the lineup. Jordan Bird gets a lot of attempts, usually on the pin too. Ryan Tice has talked about that though, Emily, this season. He says our offense is vanilla, but that's okay. They trust their defense enough to bail themselves out of trouble. They know they've got high balls to the pins, and they have a high enough a contact point where they feel like they can get through the defenses ahead of them. Yeah, and those outside attackers, both Bird and Madkin, are really high point scorers. Madkin has been doing it for Arkansas for the past season, and Bird, of course, in her first year really playing, but man, she's putting up great numbers. Nice serve again from Wisconsin's freshman. Jayla August goes off of 1 foot and through the Wisconsin block. Oh, and a net violation. Wisconsin gets the break because they were out of that point. Yeah, August coming down a little bit funky off of that swing on the slide. This ball just a little bit too tight. Just gets kind of caught up right in the net in front of that antenna. If she's beyond the antenna, then that would have been okay. Natalie Wardlow, the freshman, a nice run to start set number 1. Throws that one deep. Couple unforced service errors for Wisconsin. That sends Jayla August to the back row. Sophomore out of Spring, Texas. Very athletic player, and a lot of upside to her game too. 2 more years of eligibility. Furbringer wins the joust on the setter on the other side, Stecky. Little setter on setter crime happening up front. This is exactly what you want in a setter, to go up and be the second person up to touch this ball. That means that you're going to have a little bit more momentum as you're coming down. Sheffield has said that Furbringer came in pretty heralded. It's better and better every single day, has emerged as a leader. Feathery touch at the service line for Furbringer. Tip is read by Wisconsin. Nice heads-up play by Booth. And Collier is denied from the back row. Not often you see that, considering the hitting numbers we showed a moment ago from the back row for Collier. But shutting down the back row attack has to be a massive focus for Florida today, because Wisconsin runs it so often. Florida has to have at least 2 blockers up at all times. This is Stuckey back at the service line for the Gators. Kristen Simon with a scrappy pass and a beautiful attempt from Grace Egan. I think she had, what, 4 inches outside the block to work with? Beautiful set from Furbringer, getting this all the way out to the pin. And look at the lane that Egan has, just microscopic, where she's able to precisely put it through. What a shot. Ohio State transfer coming into her own this season. There's Florida, it's Bird. It's physical. Furbringer digs it out, and Booth is denied by Bird. Not used to being touched to the same height. And how about Florida taking their way out of trouble? Scrappy point. And that's all physicality on Florida's side, because they were able to win that joust at the net. That put pressure on Wisconsin, forcing a free ball, and that's an easy transition play for the Gators to put down. Wisconsin trailing by a point now. Kelly Sheffield, one of the best coaches in the games. The nicest guys you'll ever meet off the court as well. Vogel here for the Gators. Has been effective at the service line, earns the overpass. There's no better feeling as a little, Emily, as we can both speak to, than when you get a pop-up overpass from the service line. Yeah, you can't really score points as a little, because typically you're not attacking, but man, if you can force an overpass like this, it feels pretty good. It feels like it should be an assist or something. Give it a half of something. It's kind of like getting a kill through osmosis, essentially, is the feeling. Nice swing from Egan on the pin. Alec Roth tries to bail this one out of trouble, throws a hand on it. It's sloppy, but it's in. And that all happened because Lily Hayes in the backcourt, the libero for Florida, freshman back there, making an incredible play to force this ball right at the net. This, ruled inbounds. Wisconsin thought it was out, but that clips the line. Furbringer's like, no way. Did that just touch the line? All right, this one's tracked down, but oof, tight. Collier still finds a way to get it done. Madkin off the block. Somebody else is in the net. It's for Wisconsin. A couple of those here to start on both sides.
A little bit sloppy net play, like you said, for Florida and for Wisconsin, but especially late in sets. This is where you got to play clean and not give your opponent other points.
Here's the red zone, Emily. 4-0 scoring run for Florida. This is where you want to see Florida shine per one of your measuring sticks for the Gators heading in the SEC.
Florida really struggled on Friday against Marquette. They were lost by 2 points in each of those 3 sets. They weren't good enough in the red zone. Now Wisconsin, another error gives Florida that point. This is the biggest thing Florida needs to change.
Straight for Florida. Vogel, a big part of the service pressure. Wisconsin goes out to the pin. It's Collier high hands. Stuckey on the run to the pin. Tip. Furbringer goes to the back row, and Vajagic sends it deep. What are you seeing not working right now for Wisconsin?
Yeah, the timing just a little bit off between setter and hitter. It looked like in the beginning of the set, those connections looked really good, but the attackers just not quite where they were at before.
6-0 run here for Florida. Finally a miss. We'll see what Wisconsin does with the break, as Florida just needs 3 to take set number 1. Been a journey for the Gators. Started the year with the top 3 win over Pitt. In 5, a reverse sweep. After losing to Stanford to open up the year, but they're battle tested ahead of conference play. Out to the pin. Madkin again with a slow start, but a hot finish. That's her 13th total attempt, 6th kill of the match.
She actually has more attempts than the rest of the team combined right now. That tells you just how many swings she's gotten throughout this first set.
Florida would love to get their middles going a little bit more, especially with a gust in there. But hey, when the score's 23-17, why fix it if it's not broken? Lily Hayes, the freshman libero, back to work. She became the first freshman to start in the libero jersey since Elise Cusack did in 2006. Scrappy defender out of Tampa, Florida. Mom was also a 3-time All-American soccer player. Dug out by Stuckey. Hayes throws it to the pin. And it's Madkin with a sloppy kill for set point, Florida.
Even out of system, Madkin is doing a really nice job taking hard swings through the block and using power to bang through it.
To the middle, Andrew throws it down. Stuckey is on it defensively. Madkin goes for the kill. System slightly. Madkin again with a faster tempo set. And Wisconsin is on the block.
And that's why you check in Maddie Quest in this rotation, because you have a bigger block on the right side to try to take down that left side attack. Really good solo stuff from a freshman.
And that freshman class is something Wisconsin is proud of. Nice heavy serve there too. Stuckey in trouble. So a swipe off the block was the attempt for Hudson, going for hands, missed it. How about this for a pressured situation too, Emily? Maddie Quest, the freshman, back at the service line at set point for Florida. Nice serve, goes outside the platform of Florida. Throws in off speed. Collier is on it. Furbringer goes to the slide. Andrew fires it cross court, and Florida is caught in the net now. Una Vajagic will start us off for first serve here in set 2. Stuckey goes right back to the pin. It's Bird. Booth gets a touch on it, sends it out of play and out of reach. Florida opens up the scoring in set 2.
Tip plays are the plays that Wisconsin came into this matchup wanting to transition very easily, because it's not a hard pressure hit. The defense theoretically has more time to transition those. Those easy plays are the ones that Wisconsin has to handle better.
I would guess that Kelly Sheffield had the same conversation with his team. Ooh, a little tight on the set there from Furbringer. Egan was a little bit under the net there,
Super
but
under the net.
Must have been ruled that it was not egregious enough to impact the play. So Wisconsin will play on and take the point. Kristen Simon, number 7 in red, back to serve for the Badgers. By the way, in the black jerseys for the first time since 1999, a new look for the Badgers. Stuckey with a crafty set. Alec Roth thinks she got the touch. but was denied. Alexis Stuckey has had quite the journey too with a knee injury, which she actually suffered against Wisconsin. She's dealt with the residue of that injury last season. Nice ball there and recovery. How about Stuckey going right back to the same player that made the mistake a moment ago?
Yeah, it's called repeat setting. So going back to that same person, maybe the connection was off, maybe they just hit the ball out of bounds, but so important to go back to that attacker, get that connection down, and give them some confidence headed into that next play.
Alec Roth was the #1 ranked recruit in the state of Ohio for the class of 2024. Down the line serve again from Florida. They've tried to get Wisconsin on a system. Not that time, though. It's Andrew with the put away.
What's been interesting for Wisconsin is the passing has been fantastic throughout this match so far, but in the first set, they only hit about 100, which is way lower than their season average of over 300. So the setter-hitter connection's just a little bit off today. Great. Not there, though. That was great.
Yeah, no, found a way. Egan, another topspin attempt from the service line goes into the net. It's a heavy serve when it's good. Lily Hayes, the freshman libero for Florida, will take it back. Mentioned her mom was a 3-time All-American. I was in soccer while at UNC Chapel Hill, played professionally as well, so comes from good genes. Oh, it's the right choice. The block was not on it for Florida, but Furbringer sends that attack into the net.
A really smart decision for Charlie Furbringer as Wisconsin has tried to get her more offensive and to be a threat up front. Just a little bit off on the execution, too far away from the net.
Furbringer has a volleyball pedigree in her family as well, and a rocket from Lily Hayes exploits.
The serving for Florida has been fantastic. Wisconsin's done a decent job of handling that pressure, but especially in this rotation, when you're serving right between the two passers, it's really difficult for them to know who's going to take it. Ideally, you want the libero to take it.
Yeah, just outside the platform. Vajagic handles the pass that time. Little misconnection there in the middle, and Collier, Vajagic on the dig attempt sends it deep.
And there's Anaya Madkin again on the outside, just ripping balls left and right. She's doing a really nice job of swinging high. So whether it's clipping the block and going out or going through the block and down, that's where she's scoring most of her points.
4-0 run again for Florida. Curious what's on the mind of Kelly Sheffield. Vajagic handles the pass. High hands for Collier, and Hayes tries to dig it out. She will not. That is one area, though, Kelly Sheffield is impressed the most with Una Vajagic. Said her passing numbers through the start of the year are better than we've ever seen from one of our players. She is one of their best passers in the back row. European training style from Serbia.
And typically in the international game, since you have less than half the amount of subs that you do in the college game, that forces you as an outside or right side attacker to play all 6 rotations rather than just 3. So you have to be able to pass, and that bodes really well during this game because she can stay in for 6 rotations.
Mimi Collier back at the service line. Goes low to the tape. It's a nice serve. Florida throws in another tip. Back row, and that was a deceptive set from Furbringer.
Really smart from Furbringer, because when the ball was in her hands, you had no idea where she was going with this, and so many options on attack. You got the D ball on the right side, a slide going outside, but then you got Collier coming through the middle. So 4 options that Florida's got to deal with.
Yeah, and setting that ball, Kelly Sheffield has talked a lot about. It's different than when you're setting a ball in the front row. Nice rip again from Madkin, that time down the line. Who would have thought at this point in the match, Emily, we'd see 20 attempts from Anaya Madkin, and just how many from Jordan Bird? 6. Just 6 attempts.
And a lot of that has been because when Madkin's been up front, they've been out of system a little bit more, so she's been forced to take a lot more swings.
That's a good point. Furbringer goes to her pin. Vajagic throws it down the line. It's Madkin swinging out of trouble again, out of system, to your point. Furbringer gets the last push on the joust.
Another reason why Florida's sending a lot of balls outside is because Charlie Furbringer is a shorter blocker out there. That doesn't mean she's a bad blocker. She actually is really good with where her hands are. Tell right there, good at joust up front. But that's a matchup that Florida's trying to exploit with Furbringer up front.
Furbringer just 5'11", to your point, undersized in the Big Ten and SEC conferences anyway. Loading up again on the outside block, and Furbringer must have heard us talking. Right on cue, another block for the youngster.
Really nice footwork from Charlie Furbringer. Identifying this set was really far inside, so she scooted that block and got right next to the middle, and that was a good put down.
It's Natalie Wardlow, the freshman, 6'4" at the service line. High contact point. Boy, is that ball dropping. And Jayla Auguste pays off another slide attack down the line on Wisconsin.
Really well handled pass allows that middle attack to happen. And Jayla Auguste so good with her feet. She knows exactly where she needs to be to sky up there and put the ball down.
Florida sends another little back to the service line. It's Bella Lee, the sophomore defensive specialist, has one of the best serves on this Florida roster. Ryan Tice feels very confident with his group of littles this season, says it's one of the best, most deep positions they have this season. Furbringer goes to Vajagic, who tries to swing out of trouble. She's asking the ref to, in all the history of their matches against one another, Wisconsin leads the series 5-3 in their 8 meetings, but all 5 of those wins coming in other territories. Furbringer with the soft serve, trying to get Florida out of rhythm. Auguste goes high hands, nobody's home down the line. Gets the touch and gets the kill.
Florida's passing has been so good during the second set. Stuckey has been able to get more players involved than just Anaya Madkin outside. That's allowed the slide to be really effective behind, but also the middle and front too.
That was the 3rd kill for Jayla Auguste, hitting 400 so far on the night. Only 5 attempts though, to your point, on Florida still trying to get those middles going. Egan sends a wild pass, and Wisconsin sends over a free ball. Prime opportunity for Florida to work Jordan Bird on the pin, and they will, right on cue.
And Jordan Bird is normally scoring about 4 points a set for Florida right now, but currently numbers a little bit lower than that. Just her 4th kill of this match so far. Doing it very efficiently though. They haven't had to use her as much because the passing has been good when she's in the front row. Man, she can put a lot of balls down if they get her going.
She also touches near 10-8, as Tice shared with me earlier this season. Furbringer kicks it back to Vajagic, goes high hands to the middle, and Wisconsin is on it. Clearly, Kelly Sheffield gave his team a heads up. Hey, we got to cover the tip a little bit better.
Yeah, Wisconsin's doing a much better job over the last 5 points or so, picking up those easy plays, whether it's the block up front as it was here, or the backcourt just being locked into these tips.
Vajagic back to the service line, a trendsetter from Serbia. Before she committed to Wisconsin, it was not common for the Serbian athletes to leave their native country to play college volleyball in America. I'll explain more in a moment. A touch was called there against Wisconsin, so Florida will take back a point and the serve. But yeah, Sheffield has some really interesting insight there for Vajagic, a story that hasn't really been told a ton this season. Ooh, Furbringer doesn't even attempt to get above the plane, and Jordan Bird was there to gobble up an overpass. Can't give one away when you've got 10'8" on the other side. Alexis Stuckey back at the line for Florida. Oof. Quick pass. Booth tries to throw it down with 2. Quick to the pin. Collier on the rip. Free ball for Wisconsin. Runs the middle just as quickly, and Carter Booth on tempo and on cue.
Wisconsin's defense working really well to keep these balls alive. The setter-hitter connection, though, with Carter Booth hasn't been great today with the setter, but what Booth is doing really well is adjusting to whatever set she's given. It doesn't have to be a perfect ball, it just has to be in a window for her to attack.
And sometimes the pass tempo can impact that too. Definitely nuance to pay attention to. Stuckey goes to her middle. Roth is blocked. Bird gets dug up down the line. What a get from Kristen Simon. And Collier finding a way to throw a tip through the block.
High IQ play for Mimi Collier. This set a little too far off the net. She did a nice job seeing where the blockers were and just putting this ball right off of them, right after coming down off the block as well.
Quieter night for Collier so far too. Just her 5th kill of the game, the match, excuse me. Net violation called on Wisconsin on a tight set there from Florida.
A lot of net calls Wisconsin's way. They need to be a little bit more disciplined up at the net, especially with their blocking.
Ella Vogel back at the service line. Wisconsin has struggled with the pass here. Keep an eye on Collier down the line. That's been the target. Nice coverage there by Vajagic. Taking a bigger seam. Florida goes high. It's 50-50. Tip. Dug out by Furbringer. Collier. Furbringer again. Out to Collier. Different opening. Dug out by Lily Hayes. Love that dig. Vogel goes tight, and another tip. Furbringer defends it. Collier, big rip, heavier angle, gets the job done. Point Wisconsin.
Both sides digging in defensively. Florida libero Lily Hayes with a massive up just to keep this rally alive. But then it's Wisconsin who's continuing to force pressure on the Gators, taking big swing after big swing as Collier puts that one down.
Yeah, and ahead of that one, Kristen Simon had a nice dig too for Wisconsin, and Collier coming to life here for the Badgers. In Oregon, they ran a very fast tempo offense too, so that was something that Furbringer had to get used to this year, finding what everybody likes with a newer roster. Vajagic tracks it down. Collier goes up, goes big off the block. Stuckey out to the pin. It was a faster tempo. Another tip from Madkin. Collier finds the seam in the block and throws down the biggest kill of the night for Wisconsin.
Mimi Collier is heating up. That's bad news for Florida. They need to do a better job of blocking the left side attack, especially when Collier's up there, knowing that Charlie Furbringer is going to go to her in tough situations.
Was selected the Big Ten Player of the Week on Monday after the Badgers threw a sweep over Georgia Tech. 21st ranked, 21st ranked Georgia Tech. And that was a nice swing there from the Gators.
Florida continuing to go to the outside here when Charlie Furbringer is up front, exploiting that shorter matchup on the block.
Nia Madkin was a transfer from Arkansas, contributed 25% of the Razorbacks' total offense last year. So used to carrying a heavy load. How about that swing from Alicia Andrew?
The addition of Alicia Andrew to this Wisconsin team is night and day. They needed a second middle that was going to put down balls efficiently. It's exactly what Andrew brings. She's hitting over 500 on the season and does it from all areas of the court.
When Alicia Andrew hit the portal this year, she kind of knew what she was looking for. Last year of eligibility, you want to play for a team that's going to contend. And with good culture, Wisconsin has both of those things as Jayla Auguste responds with a kill from the middle for Florida.
50s in, and you see throughout this match, doing a lot better from set 1 to set 2. Furbringer is getting her in a lot better positions, and she's able to go off.
Wild swing from Vajagic, but yeah, to your point on Collier, Kelly Sheffield sharing with me, he said she just woke up on a Friday not knowing she was going to leave Oregon. Had a plan to stay there. Of course, the coaching change, she entered the portal and had the decision made after a flight, made it pretty quickly that it would be Wisconsin, the only team and school that she talked to. Florida back to work. It's Auguste, nasty off of 1 foot. So when the middles are going for Florida and it's not just that one-dimensional high,
all completely changing the way that they approach the non-conference and have had a lot of success so far this season.
Pancake on the serve receive, an unusual circumstance. Auguste throws in a cannon. Collier sacrifices the body on that dig. Florida in more of a scramble here, high to the pin. It's Madkin swinging her way out of trouble. Where is the Wisconsin block struggling the most right now?
Yeah, what Madkin is doing well is she's hitting high hand. She's trying to go up and over the block. So as disciplined as Wisconsin can be up there, still got to make sure they're low and over because Madkin's doing a phenomenal job going off of fingertips.
Full serve, that's a nice one from Hudson. Vajagic goes high hands and needed a kill there. Wisconsin seemingly losing their grip of momentum here. Let's take a look at some blocking numbers. Emily, the last 4 seasons, and right now 96th is not their usual.
Yeah, and for the past 4 or 5 years, Wisconsin's been known as one of the most physical, if not the tallest team in the country, so that contributes to a lot of those block numbers. It's a different style of play for the Badgers this season. They don't have the same height that they've had, so they're trying to play a different style of game. A lot of that comes from the backcourt and being scrappier.
Scrappier and in system certainly helps to be able to utilize those physical hitters in the middle, such as Carter Booth. There's a little run for Wisconsin.
That's better discipline up front from Furbringer as well as Booth, going low and over, not allowing Madkin to use their hands.
Another serve here from Natalie Wardlow out of Lincoln, Nebraska. She's 6'4". Ooh, and Stuckey pulls a block with her as a net violation is called by Florida, excuse me.
That ball a little bit too tight. Stuckey tries to save it, but just a little shrug of the shoulder into the net gets called.
Stuckey, redshirt junior out of Laramie, Wyoming. Still has another year of eligibility. It's been a journey for her, I'm sure mentally too, after a bad knee injury. Into the net, Wardlow sends a gift as Florida looks to get to the red zone. The 20-point marker. In comes Bella Lee, 5'5", Tampa, Florida native. Defensive specialist. Florida really utilizes those littles in a lot of ways in the backcourt. There's a rotation of 3 or 4 that enter at any time. Jump float, it's a good one. Simon throws that pass to the 10-foot line. Collier swinging out of trouble from the backcourt. Bird sends in a free ball. Egan clearly calls it. Florida with a dig. Bird off of hands. Collier's on it. It's tight. Furbringer finds a way to dig it out. Carter Booth with the kill. Connection peaking for the Badgers.
Throughout that entire rally, Furbringer did such a nice job being deceptive of where she was going. This is a very tight set. Blockers might think she's going to take it over, but goes to the slide behind and leaves her attacker one-on-one.
Kelly Sheffield says Carter Booth has taken on a leadership role as a captain this season. 10 new players on this Wisconsin roster, Emily, out of 17. That's a lot of new people, and to be one of the key anchors for your team, this team looks to Carter Booth for more than just production on the court. She's 6'7". A lot of presence in her personality too. Furbringer with a big serve cross court. It's a nice ball to get Florida in trouble. It's tight and it's in. Carter Booth looks to the ref and says, yes, it is. That's the case here in Madison. Furbringer trying to bring home set number 2 to the Badgers, who have never beaten Florida in home territory. So this would be a milestone win in its own right.
This is a massive comeback for Wisconsin right now here in the second set, as they found themselves down a handful of points earlier on. But good service pressure and blocking has allowed them to flourish right now, up 1.
Yeah, down 18-14 at one point here in set number 2. Furbringer is targeting that cross-court area with the serve. Bird goes heavy to the deep cross-court seam, and she would not be denied.
Now both teams at this 20-point mark. We call this the red zone from point 20 on. The question for Florida is how well can they finish? We saw in their matchup against Marquette on Friday, all 3 sets that they lost were by 2 points. The big focus for the Gators right now is closing in the red zone for these last 5.
Ooh, big serve for Florida. Alec Roth throws one, just gets caught on the net. Egan lights it up on the pin. Florida in a scramble. Bird sends in the free ball. Furbringer goes pin, it's Egan. One-on-one situation. Florida digs it out, it's tight. Oh, it touched the pin. Florida's arguing that it touched Wisconsin and then the pin, and they will get the call. Emily, what? Taylor Parks, the sophomore, often comes in at various times, has started for Florida this season, took over the role for Stuckey when she was out with injury. Egan with a big rip down the line and goes for the player that's just checking into the lineup.
Really good push on this set from Furbringer to get it all the way out to the pin. This is the set that Grace Egan likes. Loves that power shot right down the line. Beautiful set allows that.
What a swing from Grace Egan. Emily, this match, or this set, has been tied 10 times here in the second. Igich with the serve. Florida handles it perfectly. Roth one-on-one, and Collier drops her hands inside and takes away the cross-court angle.
Beautiful solo stuff for Mimi Collier. Identifies the slide early on and makes the exact same movements, mirroring it, and drops her hands right in, knowing her middle's nowhere to be found.
That's an athletic block from Mimi Collier. Vajic, the Serbian, back at the service line. Stuckey jump sets, holds a blocker with her. That ball is deep from Bird, who's telling her team not to panic, but Wisconsin knocking on the door here in set number 2. Timeout, Florida. We're going to stay right here. How about this rally from Wisconsin? Let's talk a little bit more about Vajic, who Kelly Sheffield is hugging. Continue the run here in the red zone for Wisconsin. Need 2 to even it out. Behind the pin. Vajic is on it defensively. Furbringer goes to Collier. High hands, it's dug out. What a play from Hudson. And denied is Jordan. Bird on the pin. Clutch for Florida, high pressure. Goes to the libero Simon, who throws up a dime, and that is a way to close out set number 2. Count it for Carter Booth. What a rip from the middle of the court.
She fits in really well here with the kind of style that Wisconsin wants to play.
Kelly said she was on her way to get her hair done when she texted him and said, yeah, well, let's talk.
She said, I'm not moving my hair appointment. As a woman, you know, you got to wait months for that. So she said, I'm going to do my hair appointment, and then we're going to talk. Which
I am interested, but I got to get my hair done first.
These highlights are way more important.
Yeah, but great work by the Wisconsin administration and Oregon to get the job done quick in the transfer portal for her to be able to compete this spring. With Wisconsin out to the pin, to Collier right on cue as set number 3 is underway. Bird throws in the tip. Furbringer digs it out. Collier stuck with 2 blockers and another Florida Gator in the nets. It was Auguste dancing her way into trouble that time.
At both sides between Florida and Wisconsin, net play has been kind of an Achilles heel, just being in the net way too often so far tonight.
Not a thrilling look on the face of Ryan Tice. How about Kristen Simon, freshman out of Louisville, Kentucky, known for their scrappy defenders in that part of the country. Misses the serve, though, and Jayla Auguste will take the ball back. Out of the front row is good news for Wisconsin. Jayla Auguste, a Terminator, middle attacking position. Nice serve, too, gets Vajic in trouble. Egan goes so heavy into the block, it knocks down Kristen Simon, who is there in coverage.
This is a massive front court for Florida when you have Auguste up there going, or Bird rather, going right up against Roth and Stuckey. You got to pick your poison here in terms of who you want to go after.
Yeah, that's 6'2" Stuckey, Roth 6'3", Bird 6'4". Very physical front row, to your points. And a luxury it is defensively, too, when you get to play behind a wall in the blocking position. Grace Egan struggled a little bit at the service line here in sets 1 and 2. We'll see what she comes up with here on her jump topspin serve. Oof, close. It works. Bird out of trouble. I mean, Stuckey almost set that ball to us here on the sideline and throws that on a bump set to the pin, and Bird still finds a way to throw this one down. Another look.
What worked really well was watch Bird's feet. She's able to get her feet there and have a full swing coming in.
Block way too far outside. And a nice heads-up play there from Jordan Bird, the transfer from Texas. Furbringer sends in a tip. Stuckey recovers. Bird again. Off speed this time. Stuckey again to the pin. It's Bird. Off of hands, it's dug out by Wisconsin. Back row, jukes the block. What a set. Florida didn't see that coming, neither did I.
This is where Wisconsin's offense is so dynamic. In this rotation, they have Grace Egan in the backcourt hitting a D-ball, so it's an attack out of right back. It's just one layer of versatility to that offense that the defense has to then focus on again. Massive hole in the block for her to hit through.
Look at Roth in that situation. Oh boy, forgot about that attacker in that back right corner. 7 service errors, by the way, for Wisconsin. No aces. We'll see if they clean that up. Collier gets a nice serve in. What a set from Stuckey. Effortless push all the way outside. Back row again. Collier exploits the defensive seam between Stuckey and the little in the back.
During set 1, Wisconsin rarely connected on a back row attack. During set 2 and now here in 3, Charlie Furbringer's connecting much better with that backcourt attack, and it's making this offense really tough to stop.
Nice serve from Collier, pulls the pass to the 10-foot line. Bird throws in a tip that was easy to read. Vajic tries to get it down. Hayes was on it. Tip to the middle. Oh, what a spot from Stuckey. Scramble on both sides now. Grindy point, and Florida gets away with it. It's Kira Hudson who's been taking in limited swings with that shoulder injury. You see the big sleeve on number 12's right arm. She had such a rocket start to her career, then suffered a season-ending shoulder injury. That was 3 matches into her freshman season. Oh, crafty serve from Florida again. Ella Vogel. The Littles don't get a lot of credit, Emily, but Vogel has been very solid from the service line in my estimation here tonight.
Vogel's been fantastic. She's picking apart the seams and the passers really well.
Look at that reach outside the platform. She picks it apart. Furbringer goes to the back row, and Collier is roofed by Alec Ruff.
Stuckey almost takes out her middle with a chest bump after that one. Beautiful handwork by Roth, not only getting her shoulders in the right spot, but then shutting down the attacker with good hands.
Great point by you, Emily. Ella Vogel back to work. 3 aces for Florida. Vogel has 2 of those aces so far this match. And Vajagic goes into the block again. Scrappy point for Wisconsin. Florida looking to put the nail in the coffin. They will. What a set from Stuckey to the middle. Alec Roth lighting things up.
Stuckey knows who her hot hand's going to be, especially after Roth had that massive block. Feed her the ball because she's going to be up and ready to absolutely crush one.
Vogel again getting Wisconsin in trouble in serve receive. Ooh, that's a smart tip. Nobody was there. Everybody backed up on their heels expecting a big blow, and Vajagic throws in a tip.
That tip is so smart because even if the backcourt does pick it up, that's Stuckey, the setter for Florida, taking this ball. So automatically your opponent is out of system. She got even luckier that it landed.
Well, especially with 4 tall hands in front of her, there was nowhere to swing for Vajagic. Very smart play from the Serbian. And back in the lineup is Natalie Wardlow, the freshman, the 6'4" middle blocker out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Comes in as a serving sub, but big future ahead with the Badgers. Carter Booth, oh, goes to throw down an overpass. Turns into almost a free ball. Roth, oh, nice. Booth, what a recovery.
Big hands from Carter Booth. She is all physicality. Good pickup after not putting that overpass down, which is something she's known for, but look at her hands on this play. I mean, she is just so far over the net, shutting it down.
My goodness, that's what 6'7" looks like in your face. A nice serve there from Wardlow to get Florida out of system. Madkin throws in a 2-handed tip. Vajagic gets it. Nice jump set, but it's denied by the block of Florida. Booth again tries to stuff block Roth, who finds the opening.
This is all net play right now. We're seeing a back and forth of which side is being more physical than the other in the middle.
Well played by Alec Roth, the sophomore middle blocker out of Dublin, Ohio. Take another look. Booth was going for back-to-back stuffs. Just a little bit late with both hands to press across the net. Alec Roth is pleased, dancing with Jordan Bird on the bench now. Vajagic with a big blow after tipping it a moment ago. Oh, did she almost pass that? Grace Egan said the same thing.
Typically you want to stop at the line so nothing happens, like it accidentally touches you. I think she gave everyone a little jump scare right there.
Me too. I was like, wait a second. I thought she was just watching it go and threw out a platform and juked us all. Furbringer back to the service line. Nice serve, finding the seams. High-flying Madkin. Simon digs it up. Furbringer to the back row, and Collier tries to get the kill. Scramble for Florida anyways. Stuckey goes short. Takes Wisconsin setter out of the play. Oh boy, that's tight and almost down. Scramble continues. Vajagic again. What a dig from Hayes. Man, that's a ball that cannot drop for Florida.
So frustrating for the Gators because your freshman libero is working her butt off to keep this ball up. A massive one-hand diving save to keep it alive, but just no one plays that second ball.
All that effort for nothing.
I mean, there's nothing worse as a little than when you get a dig like that, because that's momentum for your team. Your team feeds off of defensive plays like that.
Man, oh man. But Wisconsin will take the break anyways. 1-point lead on their side here in set 3. Jump float serve targets Hudson. In the middle of the court was August. Vajagic is tight, and that's a big block ahead. Furbringer goes back to Egan, who stumbles on her foot. And ouch. Looks like she kind of stubbed her toe on the wood. Huh, that was funky.
They're just a bit awkward on her approach.
Ooh.
Kind of just skidded her foot.
Yeah, I think she, just looked like she tripped up a little bit and then stubbed the toe on takeoff.
And left side of your screen, that's a little bit awkward.
Having a brief discussion there with Kelly Sheffield, 6'1" sophomore out of Sterling, Illinois. Started her career at Ohio State. Has been a nice addition here for the Badgers.
She did redshirt her freshman year with an injury, which is why she wears that leg sleeve. So you just want to make sure that she's good to go.
Yeah. Kira Hudson back to the line for Florida. Furbringer pulls it out of the net. Nice coverage from Booth. Back row, Collier, big bomb. Madkin throws in the tip, her only option. That ball is tight. Furbringer gets it out of the net. Goes back to Vajagic, who is denied, and another big block from the Florida Gators.
Florida's defense looking hype right now, and Nia Madkin with a beautiful stuff up front. Barely getting there in time, but it's all about those hands pressed over the net.
Yeah, it is. Surprising though, Wisconsin still out blocking Florida 9 blocks to Florida's 5 in that category. 2 physical teams going at it.
3 of those blocks for Florida coming in this set alone, so their front court defense really stepping up on the Gator side.
Appears that Bucky the Badger has fainted in the crowd. We hope he's okay. Send him some water. Uh-oh. Oh my. Just an ugly point, to say the least, for Wisconsin. Florida will take advantage with a 2-point gap.
And during that point, you could actually hear Charlie Furbringer yelling to her outside to just send it out, because Furbringer wasn't in place to make a play on that, which is kind of not loud enough.
She is fairly soft-spoken, Charlie Furbringer. Kira Hudson back at the line, Wisconsin. Goes tight again. Egan rips that thing into a double block. Gutsy swing, and an even heavier block from the Gators. Timeout.
Fourth block of this set for the Gators, and Jayla
catch that one top of the hour there in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Meanwhile, here in Madison, Wisconsin, Kira Hudson looking to pay off a 4-0 run for Florida out of the break. Egan in some trouble again against the stingy Florida block. Vajagic throws in a roll shot. It's covered. Here's Madkin. Furbringer works Collier, who is stuffed. Furbringer again in chaos. Off of hands and gets the job done, does Grace Egan. Little undersized compared to the Florida block ahead of her, but finds a way to scrap that one out.
With how good Florida's block has been during this third set, Wisconsin had to make that adjustment of swinging just a little bit higher at fingertips.
Vajagic back at the service line now. Nice seam. Stuckey again from the 10-foot line. Doesn't matter. It's a perfect connection, but the ball was out. Thought that one was going to land. Madkin did too. She was right there. Had a perfect, juicy opportunity. Here's another look at it.
And this ball super close to the line there, but
like
here's another look.
Yeah, just a couple of inches away.
Barely out.
Catches Carter Booth late to the block too. What a set from Stuckey. Quick tempo out to the pin. Juicy opportunity gone by. Vajagic looking to tie it here for Wisconsin. Stuckey goes back to August. Denied at the hands of Collier. Why was that block so effective from Mimi Collier?
Collier's been so effective on this slide attack because she's making the same movements that the slide attacker is making, but then getting inside of it, taking away that sharp angle back to cross court.
Second block of the night for Mimi Collier, the senior. Originally from Lincoln, California. Jump float serve from Vajagic. August just says thank you very much. One-on-one situation. Down it goes.
The adjustment here that Florida made was running a slide just a little bit quicker, getting August going with tempo, so it was more difficult for the block to get there in time.
Yeah, you could see Carter Booth kind of chasing the play on that one. Well-devised play there from Stuckey. Back to the service line for the Gators. Number 21, Bella Lee, the sophomore defensive specialist. Nice pass from Wisconsin. Collier goes big and right to the platform of Lily Hayes, who was not thrilled that she missed that dig.
Hayes in the right spot to make a play on it. Just, it's difficult. It's one thing to be in the right spot, but then it's another thing to handle the heat that a player like Collier is bringing you.
8 ties so far here in set 3. It's been tight all the way through this match. Big serve from Wisconsin. Bird throws one right into the hands of Grace Egan, who was in the right place at the perfect time.
It's been a blocking fest on both sides. Florida up to 3 stuffs this set. Wisconsin now with their 3rd block of the set. Defense really picking up on both sides. Good hands from Egan back into the court.
Look at that push from Stuckey. Bird, it's a little bit off the net though. Throws in a tip. Furbringer literally pointing for where she wanted that ball to go. Another roll shot from Bird. Takes Collier out of the play. Smart place. Stuckey in a bind. August trying to help her out. And Andrew is on the block. Then in 2022, exactly as you mentioned, of course, those Nebraska teams always seem to beat those records in any way they can. How about that swing inside the block from August? Nice set from Stuckey, pulled it a little bit inside, catching that Wisconsin block, camped out a little bit too close to the pin. Taylor Parks, number 20, checking back into the lineup for Florida. Stuckey will remain the setter, more of like a serving specialist defensive position here for Taylor Parks. She's a great setter in her own right as well. Furbringer out to the pin. Collier sends in a roll shot. Bird got a pancake. Nobody else was up, though, to pay it off.
Mimi Collier is known for power. That's what makes her off-speed so effective. The defense is expecting a hard-driven ball. When Collier pulls back the string, it catches the defense on their heels.
And we can commiserate with the littles on the other side, because when you are trying to anticipate a 70-mile-per-hour blow the other way, and then all of a sudden they drop in a tip just out of reach, it's the worst feeling as a defensive player.
And in the backcourt, you want to always stay on your toes so you're able to explode forward and pick up those plays. When you have a player like Collier, you get a little back on your heels because you have to pop that hard-driven ball straight up.
Oh, a football on the serve. Not rare that, or not too often that we see that situation.
Typically, you really only see these with topspin servers when the toss is just super far off.
Egregious.
Yeah, I mean, just
half the foot.
Just a bad toss.
Yeah. Stuckey will take the break for Florida. Tight pass, actually a perfect pass. Furbringer is on it. Andrew in a one-on-one situation. Jordan Bird says, get that out of here.
Good stuff from Jordan Bird, getting her team hyped up here late in set 3. Really good track of this slide attack, getting those hands right inside to take away Andrew's power angle.
Make that the 9th tie of the set. Momentum swinging back and forth. Egan on the pass here. It's at the 10-foot line, though. Collier blows up Lily Hayes, the freshman libero for Florida.
Collier is ripping these cross-court shots. Florida's trying to take away the line shot from their back row. That opens up a lot cross-court that Collier sees really well and is just crushing.
Look at that arm speed for Mimi Collier. Last-minute vision Kelly talked about was so special. Bird a little bit off the net. Thought it was a kill. Wisconsin was there. Had to pay it off here, though, for the Badgers. Don't let that dig go to waste. They won't. Vajic pays it forward.
Back-to-back really tough cross-court kills for Wisconsin with 2 different attackers up front. Florida's got to adjust just a little bit better and get a big block in there.
Take another look at this jig, Emily. One-hander from Mimi Collier. As good as she is in the front row, swinging out of the back row, she's also got some scrappy defense, too. Love that tempo. Vajic finds the outside of the block. That was a beauty for Mimi Collier. Bird thought that was a sure thing, that ball was going down. We'll see where Collier targets here. She'll go to Bird. Wise choice. Just outside the reach. Badger fans go wild.
Good serve from Mimi Collier. Gets these fans holding up the black ace cards where it looks like pretty much every single fan in attendance has got one. That's awesome.
Mimi Collier with 12 kills and 10 digs, her second double-double of the year, 38th of her career. Bird throws in a tip. Nice play by Andrew. That's smart. Bird goes big this time. It's touched. So there's the dynamic stuff from Jordan Berg. Throws in some off-speed. Okay, that doesn't work. Reload, throw in the heavy stuff. Finds the openings no matter how she can get it.
Well, we're also seeing number 55 in white, Amaya Thomas, in for the first time this season for Florida, and she's driving hard as a decoy up front that Wisconsin has not scouted.
It's a great point by you, Emily. Selling the block on the other side with that approach can do wonders. One-on-one situation there. Ball was out. Stuckey played it anyways. Madkin terminates down the line.
Madkin was the big attacker for Florida during set one. She had 7 kills just in that set alone. Has been a little bit quiet since set one, but here late in the set, she knows she's got the hot hand and is asking for that ball.
What a swing. Last minute turn there for Madkin, number 9, who has been the choice for Florida.
And in this rotation, Florida technically has 2 middles in the front court, so they'll have Roth blocking on the right side, taking away Wisconsin's outside.
Keep an eye on for that. That is a tough service error to take at this point in set 3. Finding that ratio. Vogel's been so good at the service line, though. Can't take away that one from her. Here's Wardlow back to work at the service line. 6 service errors for Florida, 8 for Wisconsin. Little high through 3 sets, I'd say. Stuckey goes high to the pin. Why wouldn't you? High swing for Florida. Bajagic goes big, no touch.
This is what a big blocking sub does, because you see massive hands in front of you. This time 2 middles for Florida, blocking on the right side there. It forces the attacker to swing just a little bit higher, causing this ball to go out of bounds.
Yeah, number 55 there, you mentioned it. 6'3", senior middle blocker Amaya Thomas out of Orlando, Florida. Big presence, who is checking out of the lineup now. Kira Hudson checks back in. And a lot of this due to the shoulder situation right now of Kira Hudson trying to find ways to keep the physicality up, keep the swings high in every position. They're trying to manage that swing load still for Hudson. Hayes with a serve for Florida. Collier, 1-on-none. Perfectly ideal for number 15.
Not only does Wisconsin implement a back row attack, but they move around where the attackers are hitting this ball from. This rotation, Collier, who normally hits through middle back, is hitting through right back.
What a swing from the All-Star, Mimi Collier. 13th kill of the night, hitting .265, Emily. Mentioned those back row numbers, too, hitting well above 300 in that category all season. August throws that one into the net. Misconnection there from Stuckey, little low on the set, and Wisconsin is 3 away from taking set number 3. This one feels like a 5-set match in the making, Emily. We kind of sense that ahead of this one.
If it's anything like the last time these two teams met in the Kohl Center Classic, it's going to be a 5-set thriller and come down to the absolute wire.
Well, their last meeting, Wisconsin reverse swept Florida on the road. That was in 2023. Did not meet last year. Missed serve gift from Wisconsin. But in 2022, we saw it. We saw the video of it. Florida won the 5-set battle at the Kohl Center. Five of the 8 matches in the series have gone 5 sets, so if history proves to be true tonight, we're in it to win it. Kira Hudson with the soft touch on the float serve. Oh my goodness. Mimi Collier again.
Collier so explosive from the backcourt, but Florida wants another look at it. They're saying that Mimi Collier's toe was beyond the 10-foot line, which would mean it's an
to worry about such endeavors.
And now Florida just down to 1 remaining challenge, unless we go 5 when they would get an additional one, so a tough space to burn a challenge.
It's a great point by you, Emily. Here's Vajagic at the service line for Wisconsin. Deep float. Hudson hit a maybe out serve. We'll never know. Madkin is dug out by the Badgers. Oh no! Trouble brewing for the Gators. Back to Collier. Troublesome situation, and Hayes throws her hands on it for set point, Wisconsin. Timeout called the other way. Florida in trouble. Full scramble. What are you seeing in these last 3 points, Emily?
Florida looked complete chaos on their side, handing Wisconsin an easy point, but it's all been Mimi Collier late in this set. Furbringer knows who her go-to attacker is late. That has been Mimi Collier at all matches this season.
I mean, full scramble for Florida almost turned into a full scramble for Wisconsin. But I think this circles back to your point, Emily, at the top of the show in sets 2 and 3. Set point Wisconsin looking to go up 1 on the Gators. Dime of a pass. Jayla August is the choice. What a coverage from Hudson. Swinging. Big is Madkin. Collier now. Sends in a roll shot. Florida in a scramble. Hayes sends a short free ball. Furbringer to Collier. Ends it. No, it's out. Ooh, will we have a challenge? Collier is convinced. This ball is in. It is overturned. Yes, that ball lands in, and Wisconsin. A bit, number 52. will start in the front row for Wisconsin here in set 4. Badgers 1 set away from taking the match on the Gators. We'll see what kind of fight back Florida has in this one. Stuckey goes right back to Bird. Booth right on cue with a big block. What a set from Bird. That's athletic, and it saves the point, the Gators.
The setter getting a kill in there.
Okay.
Bird giving her a little assist action.
High hands from the referee stand.
Yeah, and here's the set from Jordan Bird. Gets shut down, but
whoopsies.
Beautiful hands to push it all the way out.
Nice. Assist to Stuckey on the kill.
Yeah.
Vajic pulled a little bit out of position there. Nice serve from Florida. That ball is out. Nice start to the set here for Florida. What would you like to see on the Gators side to turn the tide here and push things to 5, as we've seen so many times between these two so far?
The attackers need to do a better job of hitting high, going for high hands to not allow Wisconsin to stuff them. But also the Gators need to put a little bit more service pressure and just play aggressive up front to try to knock Wisconsin out of rhythm.
In set 1, they were the drivers from the service line. I think they got a lot of errors too from Wisconsin. But yes, great points by you. The serve and pass game is talked about a lot as Kristen Simon steps to the service line. Kelly Sheffield calls her a tough little booger. Direct quote.
That's awesome. I feel like you could just make a book of Kelly Sheffield quotes, to be honest.
He's the best. And a tough little booger she is, but Florida does get the points, and Ella Vogel, tough player on their side, freshman defensive specialist, looking to repay the favor from the service line. She's been so good tonight in a thankless part of the game. Egan goes through the block, and nobody paying attention to Grace Egan when Mimi Collier's loading up on the other pin.
And Grace Egan is a player that we've seen go absolutely off during matches for 20-plus kills. She's not someone that you can sleep on, because if the block is targeting Collier, Furbringer will just give it to Egan, even when she's back row too.
Yeah, 8 kills, hitting 250. The only area of the game in my mind she's been struggling at is the service line has been a little inconsistent for Grace Egan.
Yeah, that might be something that Kelly Sheffield might put a serve sub in just for a rotation. That connection and rhythm just isn't quite there on her topspin.
Oh boy. Oh, Furbringer gets a little break there. Florida throws it to Matkin, who sends a termination play the other way. Point Florida, 3-point gap.
Nice shot from Anaya Madkin. Block lined up a little bit too far out. She slices this one inside.
Redshirt sophomore has been the player of choice. 42 total attempts to Jordan Bird's 31. It's 11 more attempts from the all-star Jordan Bird. 13 kills for Madkin, leading the team tonight. That's a good little scramble created by Furbringer. Nice hands from August, though. How about that? Love when the middles get an assist. Madkin gives a hug in response.
Honestly, anything that Jayla August does well is just so much fun to watch because of her reactions. Awesome pickup from Lily Hayes, the libero.
I love that.
And you love to see the middle also be so confident when they're stepping in. You don't want them to be tentative about it. If you're taking that second ball, be confident with it.
Well, didn't make it chaotic, just said, I got it. I'm just going to clean up. And instead of making this chaotic, let me take it. Makes it one-dimensional. They know where I'm out of it, but that's where Florida's going to go anyways. Might as well clean up the situation at hand. Nice play for the sophomore. Down the line, Egan nails the pass, and a beauty. One-on-one, and that's the beauty of what we call a 3.0 pass. You've got all 3 attack options for Wisconsin's case 4.
When a team is in system, it's really difficult as a defense to know where the setter's going. In this rotation, Charlie Furbringer has 4 options, 2 in the front, 2 in the back row. Blockers completely out of rotation.
Nice serve from Collier. Hudson still gets a hold of it though, and August with no room to go, tight with the set, catches Egan out of position defensively.
And not the perfect set, but August did a really nice job adjusting to that. It was in a window still where she could at least get a hand on it and put in a good tip.
Four-point lead for the Gators, looking to force this to a 5th set. Hudson back at the line. Ooh, that ball might have been out. Simon still plays it. Collier flying out of the back row, blows up Hayes, who gets an incredible dig. Egan handles. Furbringer out to Bajagic, and that one goes down on the Gators. That is a dynamic play for Wisconsin, running all of their attackers in one sequence. What'd you see here, Em?
And that happens when you've got some really good ups. There's another Hayes dig on Florida's side. They're able to transition it, but it's again Wisconsin in a better position, and they're able to have all options. Beautiful swing from Bajagic.
Love that dig, though, from Lily Hayes, her 10th dig of the night, matching Kira Hudson with 10 in the same category. Off the hands, dug up by Wardlow. Furbringer sends it to the pin. Bajagic trying to create chaos. Here's Madkin and Collier. Caught standing straight up. Madkin throws it through the block. What a shot. 15th kill of the night for Anaya Madkin. Redshirt sophomore out of the University of Arkansas.
It's a bomb of a swing from Madkin.
Yeah, I mean, she's been lights out tonight. Had to earn her place in the lineup this year as well. Especially with players Jordan Bird, Kira Hudson on the roster. Lauren Harden getting a little bit of playing time this year. Jump float serve gets Simon out of position. Stuckey goes over with it, and net violation called on Carter Booth. Knew it was coming over, just didn't know where it was going. Well played by Alexis Stuckey.
And if you're going to take this ball over on two, you have to be as aggressive as possible. Stuckey did a nice job of that. Near overpass, gets up. Booth's there, just hands a little bit undisciplined.
Service miss for Florida. Gives Wisconsin a break, though down by 4. What does Wisconsin need to do here to start turning the tide in their favor here in set 4?
Defense still needs to pick up just a little bit. Florida's hitting nearly 600 during this set. Wisconsin's not getting the same touches and stuffs that we saw during the last set.
Is that a discipline thing? Is that a...
I think Florida's hitting a lot better. They're hitting higher, so they're not allowing Wisconsin to get touches or stuffs.
Bird goes high hands. Booth available, set too low though. Bird again, it's wide. And even Sheffield counts. Where are the hands, coach? Protect the moneymaker.
Look at
Take another look.
Right side of your screen.
Did it catch him in the nose?
Hit him in the face, too. Shake it off.
A little coffee this morning for a noon match, local time. Charlie Furbringer back in the back row. Look for the cross-court jump float serve the other way. Lee with the pass. Nice dig from Collier on the money. Oh boy, look out, Carter Booth. That was the same play we saw in your breakdown in the open. Nice dig from Simon. Furbringer goes back to Collier. Duck again, Carter Booth. I mean, really, Carter has a lot to pay attention to.
Yeah.
She's got a flying Mimi Collier coming in her territory.
Yeah, well, that's why as a middle, you have to know exactly what route you're running at all times, because Wisconsin always has at least one back row attack. So you'll see here, Booth's coming down, getting off like, oh,
she's like, where
I can't get in Collier's way. She's coming through like a freight train.
Didn't even sell it with the approach, just instead opted to dodge out of the way to the 3 zone on the net.
She's like, get me out of here.
Nice serve. That's been the target for Charlie Furbringer. Bella Lee, not necessarily as much for the vulnerability of the pass, but also the visuals of this, Emily. When that pass comes from that right back position for Stuckey, it can be a tougher ball to set.
It's difficult as a setter when it's coming over your head because you can't see the attackers in front of you that you're setting to.
Another one coming for you, Bella Lee. She's on it that time. Nice pass, but it's tight. Booth, how is she losing that joust against Stuckey?
Stuckey's going up and just pushing a little bit harder. You typically want to be the second one up when you're on a joust because you have more momentum to push down. So Stuckey did really well there.
Ryan Tice has said that Stuckey has got to have the strongest wrist to forearm relationship of setters I've ever seen. She can sling the ball, has a lot of strength. That ball is deep for Jayla August at the service line. How about this run for Wisconsin? We're down 5. Rattled off 4 straight, now with a chance to tie it. Vajagic back to the line means Collier's back to the front row. Keep an eye on the attack options for Wisconsin. Jump float serve. Florida is on it. Beautiful pass, beautiful sequence. Alec Roth says thank you for the perfect pass. Activated in the middle.
Roth has been so efficient tonight. She's hitting now over 500, doing a really nice job when the ball is in her hands. It might not be perfect, but she's able to get a solid swing on it.
That's a beauty from Alec Roth, and an even better set from Stuckey, knowing where her block is at, and an even better serve. Gets Wisconsin out of system. Furbringer gets it up. Vajagic still gets a swing on it. Oh, but that one's going down every time. Jordan Bird rubs salt in the wound for the Badgers.
Gutsy swing from Jordan Bird. This is a tough out-of-system ball to even get a swing on. A lot of outside attackers will just set this ball over, maybe tip it. Not Jordan Bird. She's going up and taking a rip.
Transfer from Texas, where she spent the first 2 seasons. Top-ranked recruit. Egan goes down the line, picks on Lily Hayes. What a swing again. The margins that Grace Egan is working with and the seams that she finds at the last second.
What Egan does really well is she has such a fast arm. She has good pop. She's able to get on top of the ball really fast. So you might think that you're there as a blocker, but she's just faster than you, beating you.
Yeah, great vision. Mid-swing too. Simon with a deep float serve, too deep. And the Badgers can't really afford much more service errors. We've seen quite a few of them all match. That's their 11th service miss of the match. Here's Ella Vogel back at the service line. We'll see how Wisconsin handles. She's been going to Mimi Collier for most of this match. She'll go back similar direction. What a pass from Vajagic. Man, and when you free up Mimi Collier on the pin, especially to take away her seam, well played by Vajagic.
When you go away from Collier, it opens things up for Collier because then the defense is expecting it to go elsewhere. You got Egan as an attacker in there, Vajagic as well, along with the middle. But then you got to worry about Collier every single time, even if they haven't set her for a few points.
I just really like that pass from Vajagic, taking that seam away from Collier so she only has a sliver of serve-receive responsibility. There's a service sub for Wisconsin, as you thought we might see Anaya Warren stepping in, number 16 in black for Grace Egan. And Egan's so excited for Warren to get that chance, even though Wisconsin didn't get the point. Love the team work there for Wisconsin. But yeah, I think that was the right decision to start working in another service sub in that spot. Here's Lily Hayes for the Gators. Simon pulls off the pass. Collier out of system. Set was 5 feet off the net, and still she comes up with an angle like that. Thumb down, heavy angle. How does she do it?
Collier has fantastic vision. She can see where their blockers are lined up. Love that push from Furbringer as well to get the ball out there. She sees where the blockers are and can just precisely hit around it.
Now in the back row, hitting over 300 from the back row. That vision is special. It's tight. It's over. Furbringer says, excuse me, Alicia, this one's mine.
Let me eat that up. Come on.
Hit check from the center, and down it goes from the crafty California setter star.
Yeah, as a setter, you don't get many options to get a swing on it, but man, she called that off and was big on it.
So she came down maybe a little awkwardly on that. Nursing that right knee, not speculating, but keep an eye on that for Furbringer. Gets a touch, nice dig. Simon's on it, keeps it alive. Vajagic swinging big. Gators in control. Madkin is dug out by Egan. Collier throws one down again. Might be hitting near 400 out of the back row after tonight. 20 kills for Collier.
And right now, Wisconsin as a whole during their offense has been incredibly efficient this set, hitting nearly 500 through set 4, and we're already halfway through it. Florida's got to find some answer defensively to get some touches.
You're looking at the 2022 AVCA National Freshman of the Year. That's Mimi Collier, just a standout athlete. In her last year of eligibility, she wanted to spend it here in Madison, the team she felt closest with, and a coach she trusted most. Tip goes to Egan. Furbringer. Florida on the attack. Back row to Collier, goes into the net, it's up, still alive, somebody's got to go. Vajic takes control. Smart place. Madkin goes into the Wisconsin block. Furbringer denies it.
Scrappy.
We're here between the Badgers and the Gators. Wisconsin has never won a match against Florida on home turf. Fighting for that here. What a play. August hops into the middle. Sneaky little approach there.
Really good answer for Florida out of the timeout. Nailed the pass right away and got one of their most efficient attackers going through the middle.
Must-win situation here for the Gators to push this to 5. Wisconsin wins this one. We are done in Madison. Hudson back to serve. Targets Grace Egan. Well played. Collier again against a triple block. Sometimes a triple block can work against you.
If that block isn't perfect up front with 6 hands right there, it's kind of more targets for Mimi Collier to attack at. She does such a nice job identifying where the blockers are, where the seams are, just going right after it.
Make it kill number 21, the second time this year that Collier has hit over 20 kills. She got 26 against Kansas earlier this season. It was a 5-game battle, one of the ranked wins that Wisconsin got this year over 14th ranked Kansas at the time. Badgers got swept by Texas earlier this year, then beat Georgia Tech, swept them 3-0. Collier a big part of that win as well. Gators, what a schedule they booked this year for themselves. Lost to Stanford in 4, beat 3rd ranked Pitt in 5, lost to 25th ranked UNC, beat Baylor, lost to Marquette. Yeah. I think it's kind of been a big sample size, but a little bit up and down for the Gators. It's our first view of Milica Vidicic, another Serbian, 6'4" freshman. Curious if these two might know each other. Vajic and Vidicic. Don't try to say that in the same sentence too many times. Furbringer with a big serve. Again, to target cross court, no mystery there. Big block for Wisconsin and Carter Booth.
Booth now up to 8 blocks on the night. She's doing such a nice job moving laterally side to side, getting to her pin attacker and doing it effectively. She might not get her feet there, but she's able to get her hands in a good spot to either get a touch or a stuff.
The next closest player to her on the other side for the Gators is 3. That's Alec Roth. To give you just context on how big that number is for Carter Booth to go 8 blocks so far tonight. Florida looking to tie it up at 18. August back to work at the service line. Attacks the libero. Furbringer gets there with her feet, is well out of the play, has to get back to the right side of the court to try and dig this out. Smart play from Bird, and a slam dunk attempt from Carter Booth, who is sure that that ball touched a Gator on its way out. I'm not sure. Either way, one heck of an athletic play from Carter Booth. Kelly Sheffield clarifying with the down referee.
Net definitely moving as well, although that wasn't the call. So we will play on.
Here's another look, Emily. We'll take another look at it. Had it not hit Alec Roth's hand, though, that would have been the other way. I see what Carter Booth maybe thought she was feeling in that play. Here's Egan. Ooh, digs it out of the net. What a play from Alec Roth, the middle, scrapping it out of the net. Ball is deep. Florida recovers their first lead. Florida and Wisconsin. Wisconsin leads the series 5-3 on the Gators, but have never won this matchup at home. Ooh, that's deep. Good dodge at the last second from Grace Egan.
It's a tough miss serve for Florida. For these last 6 points of the set, it becomes so important to keep the ball in play because 1 point feels like it's worth 10.
Bajic back to serve here. We're in the red zone on both sides. Man, Emily, a missed serve at a crucial moment.
I just talked about how much your team is impacted by missed serve because not only do you give the other team the point, but you're also stopping any kind of momentum. And in these last few points, it's so important to have momentum on your side.
Well, Florida knows that well. And that loss, you mentioned it to Marquette on Friday. They lost the momentum late in sets and got swept because of it. Grace Egan is denied. She wasn't sure that that ball was out. And the line judge said it was out. Up referee said in.
That was a really good block on Florida's side. That ball, from our angle, definitely looked in. A really good stuff right there from Bird.
Yeah, that's inside the line there. Kristen Simon nails a pass. Furbringer gets up. Booth tries to throw it down. What a get from Stuckey. Bird gets stuffed by Booth and Egan.
Booth doesn't get the kill, but gets all the way out to her pin to get a massive stuff. She is taking over the front of the court. Her 9th stuff of the night so far.
Clutch from the senior captain, Carter Booth, who has been with this program for so many years. Has stayed loyal to the Badgers for 4 years. Kristen Simon back at the service line, 9 blocks. A season high for Carter Booth, to your point earlier, Emily. Oh, another big block for the Badgers. It's Grace Egan coming to life to tie it at 21.
Grace Egan right now, her 7th block of the night. You don't often see those kind of
blocks for number 32 in black, Grace Egan. Big serve here for Simon. Floats it deep. Stuckey goes to Bird. Ooh, it is still in play. Kristen Simon keeps it alive. We're still going. What does Florida have here in a free ball situation? It's Bird, one-on-one, says, that's fine, I'll load up again and put it down for sure this time. What a set from Stuckey on a one-on-one situation. What happened to the Wisconsin block?
Well, great hustle play for Wisconsin. Kristen Simon chasing this one down just to keep it alive. But if you give any team a free ball, they've got all options available, and this ball was just way too fast outside for the blocker to get there.
Alec Ross should get the assist there. That was a heavy approach that held a Wisconsin blocker with her. Egan goes through the seam, lets it rip. She has been an X factor for me in set number 4.
Egan's been fantastic on both sides of the ball, and Charlie Furbringer knows that late in sets, she can get a lot of offensive production from her.
11 kills, 7 blocks, and 9 digs for Grace Egan.
And a serve sub will come in just because her serve is pretty much the one thing in her game right now that hasn't been fantastic. So Miley Chan will come in. She's got a good serve.
Goes with a little bit shorter, and that throws Florida out of system. Collier is on the tip. Furbringer out of system. Who's going to go for it? Collier does. Oh, off speed. Again, just full chaos on both sides. Let's see who can get it together. Collier goes deep with the tip. It's dug out by Florida. It's Bird. Excuse me, it's Madkin on the pin. And Bajic is surprised to get the attack. Madkin again. That one falls as Furbringer can't hold on to the block. 1 point lead back to Florida.
Anaya Madkin has been all power all day. That's what made this off-speed effective throughout rallies. You get tired as an outside attacker. You're taking swing after swing. Smart decision from Madkin just to push it off the block and down.
That's a career high 17 kills for Anaya Madkin on 55 attempts tonight, Emily. Just gonna ice that shoulder tonight. Lily Hayes with a nice serve. What a pass though from Simon. Filthy sequence for the Badgers to tie it at 23, and it started with the pass from the young Kristen Simon in red.
Beautiful pass from Simon allows her a quicker attack outside to Mimi Collier. When this ball is right on the money, it's difficult to get 2 blockers there in time. Now Wisconsin right now, you have Grace Egan in the backcourt as well as Mimi Collier, who have been the hot hand. So look for Furbringer to go to the back row attack here late.
22 kills, hitting 340. Also has 13 digs. That's a lot of responsibility to wear with a team you're brand new to. Obviously has had the spring now under her belt and a nice sample size here to start the year. But Mimi Collier, what has she done for this program?
She's been fantastic. One of the best additions that Wisconsin could have asked for. Now in this kind of pressure situation, she has to be big from the service line and knocking Florida out of system, making Florida's offense just a little bit more dynamic.
Now they will look to Collier, to your point, to put the pressure on as the service line. And if I'm Florida, I'm keying in on Collier on wherever she is. Would expect to see her get a back row attack attempt as well. We'll see. Jump floats. Florida handles a beautiful pass, goes middle, and jams up the Wisconsin block. We had two players there, and the ball still lands in front of the feet of Alicia Andrew. What a play. What a set from Stuckey.
And that happens when you have a good first pass because you can get the middle involved.
Set point for Florida, looking to push this to 5. Wisconsin looking to tie it at 24. And a service sub will come in for Florida.
Right now on Wisconsin side, you've got Alicia Andrew up front, who runs a really good slide attack, but also two great back row options with Collier and Egan.
Taylor Parks in a high-pressured situation. Steps into the backcourt. She'll play right back and throw in a jump float serve here. It's good. Simon, what a pass. Vajagic goes big, ties it at 24. Wisconsin back in the match for contention here in set 4.
Massive swing from Vajagic as all the attention goes to Collier and Egan in this rotation. So smart for Furbringer, knowing that the blockers are keyed in on her back row attack, sends it outside with a massive hole in the block.
Again, I'm going to give love to the freshman libero, Kristen Simon, on the bench for now with the middle serving, but what a pass in a high-pressured situation for a freshman. That's good news for Wisconsin for 3 years to come with the youngster in that position. Wardlow, Natalie Wardlow, back at the service line for Wisconsin. Massive momentum point here. Big serve, it's good. Florida looks to get out of trouble. They're denied. Furbringer handles the overpass. West with a big serve swing. Block is good. Furbringer and Booth set. 4 solid attack options. Let's see if Wardlow can finish it out. Another nice pass from Florida. Mad Kid throws in a tip. Quest is there. Furbringer knows where to go. It's the back row. Collier throws in a roll shot. A little bit chaotic. Big swing from Madkin, goes over the block that time. That is kill number 18 for number 9.
Nia Madkin has been the hot hand for Florida. Now she's moving to the back row, so Florida's got options with Jayla Gust up front as well as Jordan Bird. Watch their slide-go combo, so attack behind the setter from the middle, but also a quick attack outside to Bird.
Tied up 25 apiece here in set number 4. Madkin to the back row, which is maybe a relief for the Badgers, although they've got a physical Jordan Bird in the front row now. Also have to keep an eye out for Jayla Gust. Deep float serve. I think that one was going out. We'll see. Vajagic. Oh boy. A little wild at the end.
Yeah, a bit of a missed opportunity for Wisconsin. That ball looked like it was sailing out of bounds, but
25, set point number 2 for the 15th ranked Gators. That's deep. Wisconsin lets it fly. Off the hook for now.
Now for Florida, typically they have a defensive specialist coming in for Nia Madkin, but they are really low on subs, if not out of subs. She'll be forced to play back row, and that will cause a little bit of confusion for Florida. They have Jordan Bird in the passing rotation, who normally never passes and is not very good back there.
Well, Furbringer has been targeting that cross-court passing seam. She goes there again and burns Hudson. Bird in transition, nice dig from Furbringer. Simon goes back to the pin. Vajagic goes off the pin, and that's another tough break. 2 missed attack errors there for Vajagic late in set number 4. Ball's a little bit out of reach. Set point number 3 for Florida. That's deep again in the red zone, and another missed serve for the Gators. They'll think about that a lot if this one does not end in their favor here in set 4.
It was the exact same thing that Florida did in one of their close sets against Marquette. They let up 2 service errors late. That is something you cannot do at this point in the match.
Well, the mental game starts to wear on you at some point. Now Mimi Collier moves to the front row for Wisconsin. Furbringer has her favorite option on the pin. Booth in the middle, and Egan, who has been a Terminator, on the right side. as Vajagic heads back to the service line. Sends in a nice float ball. Florida handles it. Bird goes big. Nice dig from Vajagic. Crucial. Collier goes big, touches the block, and gets the kill, her 23rd of the night. And it's match point number 2, Wisconsin.
Got to go to your hot hitter in this rotation. When you're late in a set, go to the one that's been carrying you all season long.
Nice push set from Furbringer. Dusts her hands off after that one. Hudson handles the pass for Florida. Alec Roth keeps her team alive. That is clutch from your middle. How many times have we seen Alec Roth pull that off late in sets to keep her?
Awesome pass from Kira Hudson, stepping in so confident, putting that ball in the money for Stuckey.
Stuckey heads to the back row now. 3 attack options in the front. Vajagic with a beauty of a pass. Collier goes through the block. Scramble for the Gators. They'll swing out of it. Vajagic again is on it. Furbringer goes to Collier again. Bird somehow gets it up. Collier takes the free ball. Again, Collier swings. She's blocked. Furbringer is on it. Collier is asked to hit one way out of system. She does. Stuckey goes middle. It's Roth. Clutch. Saving set 4 for her team if this one is won by the Gators.
Back to back for the sophomore middle blocker, Alec Roth. Even in tough situations, Stuckey is feeding her, making sure that this offense is not as predictable as what we're seeing with Wisconsin right now, as every ball is going out to Mimi Collier.
Who's gonna end it? Set point number 4 for the Gators. Stuckey back to serve. Oh no, Emily Eamon. Another miss in the red zone. Is that 3 now after 20?
3 missed serves in the red zone. It feels like from point 22 on that we've seen from the Gators.
We call the red zone here in volleyball after 20. It's the no-go zone to ever miss a serve, though easier said than done. We've both been there before. Let's not make it seem like it's easy. Kristen Simon back to serve now. For Wisconsin. Almost missed it. Respect the gutsy play, though. Bird sends in a cannon. Furbringer goes to Collier, who swings high and is dug out. Bird again, tips it. Oh boy, chaos from the middle. Collier finds a way to get the ball down. Once again, kill number 24. Match point number 3 for the Badgers. It's Roth again. No. Another net violation called on Wisconsin. Way more of those net violations we've seen tonight in a while.
You want to be as aggressive as possible up there, but you also got to stay disciplined and make sure that your hands aren't coming down on the top of the tape. That one's so slight, but it counts.
Unforced errors both ways. Florida takes the break. Bird in the back row. She'll stay in the defensive lineup. Furbringer goes to Collier, her favorite attacker. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Mimi Collier, 25 kills. Match point number 4, Wisconsin. Hitting 328.
It's one thing to know where the ball is going, and it's another thing to stop it. That's what makes Collier so good, is they can rely on her in these big moments for a massive kill.
Grace Egan heads back to the service line. Charlie Furbringer is back in the front row. Vajagic is an option in the back rows as well. Egan, another miss serve. She's been missing those all match long. You respect her for going for it, but at this point in the set at 31-all, it's a tough one to give up.
The last 2 rotations, Wisconsin was able to put a serve sub in for Egan, but you're low on subs and you've been trading points this long.
Hayes goes big. That ball was out. Wisconsin still plays it. It's Collier who's roofed. And there's a free point that Wisconsin gives back to Florida.
Yeah, missed opportunity for Wisconsin. That ball was clearly sailing out of bounds. Now we'll see what Florida does, because they've had 3 missed serves on set points so far.
Set point number 5. 3 straight service errors on set points. We'll see. That is denied by Lily Hayes. Free ball for Florida. Oh my, Kristen Simon digs it out. She's not going home yet. Wisconsin roofs. Florida triple block in the middle. Clutch. 5th set point is denied.
That's backcourt defense fueling the front court. Impressive up from Kristen Simon to keep that ball alive. And then Alicia Andrew just eating it up front.
That little garden tip spot was wide open for Florida. A gutsy play from the freshman libero to keep things alive for Simon. Collier back in the back row. Something to note. To the pin. On the slide of Wisconsin. Stuckey goes right back out to the outside. And it's Florida who puts the ball away. That's Lauren Harden, number 24, the 6'3" sophomore out of Fishers, Indiana, coming in late in set number 4. Your team sets you twice. What a play from Lauren Harden.
Lauren Harden is in right now because Anaya Madkin was in the back row and they were low on subs, so they had to use Lauren Harden coming in the front court. Also of note, Jordan Bird for Florida is in the back row, who typically is never back there.
Okay, we'll see if Wisconsin can capitalize. Set point 6 for Florida. Collier out of the back row. The Terminator continues to shine in Madison. 26 kills for Collier. Matches her high that she had against Kansas earlier this season.
Perfect time to implement this backcourt attack when it's a chaotic play on your side and just an easy ball right to the center of the court for Collier.
33 all, Emily. We're still going here in set number 4. Now, service line an issue on both sides. We'll see what Natalie Wardlow comes up with, the freshman 6'4" middle blocker that comes in to serve. Oh my goodness, well deep. Can't help but smile a little bit at that one. Kelly Sheffield has a great attitude about it. And Wisconsin is so low on subs, as you pointed out, Emily. Wardlow almost thought she was staying in it. Set point number 7 for Florida. How much gas in the tank does Wisconsin have left to keep fighting off set points before we go 5? Egan pulls the pass tight, and Florida will not attack it. Back row attack goes into the nets. Stuckey trying to find Harden out of the back row. She is denied. 6 set points gone away.
Not sure if that's your best option there from a player that had just checked into the match a few points ago. I'd say you go to Jordan Bird on that. She's
Agreed.
A player that's been effective for you all season long.
And in an overpass situation, you have a free ball, you have all of your options intact. You can run a Gus on a slide maybe. Furbringer back to serve. Here's Bird, roll shot incoming. Kristen Simon is on it. Goes to the pin, Bajagic swings her way out of trouble and earns another match point for Wisconsin. Ball was a little tight, a little bit outside the window. Bajagic found a way to get a clutch kill, match point number 5 for Wisconsin. Furbringer back to serve. Deep float, it's a nice one. Florida still in it. Bird throws in the tip, Booth denies it. It's still going. Here's Furbringer. Out to Collier in the back row. Fitting end to this one. Mimi Collier gets a season high 27 kills, and Wisconsin takes it all. A non-conference signature win, history made at the Kohl Center. Badgers finally top Florida at home for the first